Today we talk about self-image.
Welcome everyone to our podcast called Back in the Game, where we talk about how life of women changes after they become mothers in terms of confidence, careers, and productivity.
Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I am Dania Hamdan. I write articles about parenthood, parenting, motherhood, and education on my blog called Be.
Hi everyone, I'm Raquel Lisboas and I'm a self-development specialist with focus in mothers who wants to get back in their career, strengthen their confidence, and be more productive without guilt.
So Raquel, also today I've got some questions to ask you. And they have to do specifically with bodies, with our bodies, how they change after motherhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to ask you, why do you accept bouncing back as some sort of gold medal, as if motherhood is an accident that we need to fix?
Mm-hmm. That's a very important and very powerful question. Thanks for that. And the first thing I think we have to see is that our body didn't go through something bad, it actually leveled up. So the changes that we have now in our bodies, it's a proof that life was built inside of us, so we enabled life to be developed and to be built inside of us. So basically it's something more, it leveled up, so it's not an accident and it's not something bad.
Yeah, actually what you're saying makes a lot of sense, because the pregnancy is going to inevitably change your body in a certain way. But it does not mean that it has to be seen as something negative. It just means that your body is living, and life has changes. Also, the body has changes. But then, why do we perceive it as a negative change?
Yeah, so we have to see it that unfortunately our society is driven by certain industries. So there will be the industry of clothing, there will be industry of food, or industry, diet industry, or different sorts of industries. And those people, they have the power to build certain standards that we want to fit in. And because they want to sell things, they will try to convince us of something. And when they try to convince us of something, we are actually convinced sometimes, and we try to fit in what they want, because they want to sell us something. And they will use marketing strategies to convince us and so on. So I believe the negative impact of the self-image of the postpartum body, let's say, it's built through these industries. Because they want to sell things to you. And then it's so strong, it's so powerful. And there are a lot of advertisements out there for you to get back to your body, for you to use back the clothes that it doesn't fit you anymore, so that it impacts us in a very powerful way, that they actually build a mindset of a whole society. So that's how we start seeing that as something negative. But I want to take the opportunity here in this podcast to invite not only us as mothers, but other women who are not mothers, and also if any man is listening to this podcast, to see the body of a woman after she becomes a mother, to see it in a different way. See it as something beautiful, see it as something to be respected, to something to be admired, because through that body, that woman was able to bring life to this world. That body was a house, the first house of a baby, let's say, in this physical world, let's say, So you were the portal for that baby to come into this life. So you allowed that baby to develop, to grow inside your body. And after the baby is born, some women are able to breastfeed, some women are not. But the women who are able to breastfeed, and then after they have like a change in their breast and all, see their breast as something beautiful. They actually produce the food for that baby and actually fed that baby during certain months. So that's an invitation I do to all of us as mothers, no mothers, and men, everyone, if we start seeing things in this way, I think it's already a big change from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we need to see the beautiful side of these changes, not and don't see, as we said also earlier, the change as something negative, as a principle. The
Yes,
change.
exactly. And I used to have a friend, and he used to tell me something that until now I remember, and I find it so beautiful. He used to say that a woman is beautiful in every stage of her life, and this should be admired and appreciated. So when she's a kid, when she's a teenager, when she's like a grown-up woman, when she's getting older, after she becomes mother, or whenever, whatever stage she is, there is beauty in that, and we should practice seeing that. We shouldn't be stuck only in that image of the youth, but we should see deeper and see the beauty of every stage. I think this is really important.
Yeah, that's true, because every sign on our body tells a story. Even maybe someone who had a surgery and they have a big scar on their body, it's telling a story. It's saying something about us. Some wrinkles that we have, they're saying something about us.
Yes, that is so true. And I totally agree, because it's also about how you reframe these thoughts. And I'll give you an example. I saw some women before that they were uncomfortable with their stretch marks after the pregnancy. And the way they reframe those thoughts was thinking that those stretch marks, they were tiger stripes. So it represents their strength. It represents like how their body is stretched to host their babies, and how powerful they are. So they see as in a different way. It's not only just stretch marks that it disturbs me, but it's tiger stripes,
Yeah.
So this is a very powerful way also to reframe. And if I can give you also an example about myself, I like to bring the examples about myself, because I think people also sees that I'm not just a coach that knows all these techniques and then I'm perfect and all. And if people are looking for perfection, that's not the right place, because there is no perfect human in this world. So we are all learning. But my situation was, when I got pregnant, I did everything to deliver my babies in the normal, in the natural delivery. And I did everything that it was possible within my hands. And my fear was, because I am afraid of needles and surgeries and blood and all. And just the brackets here, I'm bringing this topic as a vulnerability from my side, and I hope this will be a source of inspiration and power to people. So that's the reason also I bring it here. So at the end, I could deliver both of my kids in the natural way, and I was very happy about it. I considered the cesarean, the C-section, if it was necessary for me. I don't have a problem with that. If it's an alternative, if that's the way that will keep you safe and keep your baby safe, why not? I don't have anything against that, just to make it clear. But I wanted the natural way, especially because of the fears that I have. And I did it. And then some years after, I found out that I had a cyst in my ovarian, and depending on how the treatment would go, I would need to remove through a surgery or not. So the treatment didn't go well, and I needed to go through an emergency surgery. And for me, that was something that it really disturbed me. Like, how did I survive the birth of my kids without having a surgery? But now I go through this, and now I don't have a choice, and I have to do a surgery. And I will have a scar, and I'll have to go through this whole surgery rituals in a hospital. So that was really frustrating for me. And after the surgery, when I saw my scars, I was very upset, and like, come on, it didn't happen in the birth, and now it happened in another way. So it's important that whenever we have these uncomfortable feelings, it's also important for us to welcome the feelings. So basically, don't reject or don't try to be like always strong. I mean, if you can, great. But sometimes it's important to also have those feelings, accommodate the feeling. And then it's about how long you stay in this position. So if you have the tools, and then you stay in that position, but not for too long, and then you go to the next step. So what I did, I had all this confusion, all these feelings, and I accommodate that, I welcome that. And then after that was the next step, when I see myself in the mirror, and then I start seeing those scars in a different way, seeing them as they were the way for that negative thing in my body to go away. For they were the way for the pain to go away. They represent the end of that horrible pain that I was having, that miserable life that I was having. And from there, I got back my dignity, my health, and so on. So it's important to see them like it's part of me now, it's part of my story. And also through them, I could get rid of that and get my life back again, you know?
So basically, we don't have to force ourselves to feel differently from our real feeling.
Yeah, I think it's important because we are humans, you know, and the feelings are part of us. And it will be normal, even with all the confidence, even with all the tools, these feelings, they will be part of us until the rest of, like, until the last day of our lives, you know? But it's how we deal with them and how long do we stay in that position, you know? So whenever you feel, don't try just because they will always exist. So it's not about not having them, you know, but it's about how we deal with them. So if they come, accommodate, be aware that that's what you're feeling, you know, bring that to your consciousness and then see from there what it can be done. You know, this is how it should be. Also, not to be in this toxic mode of always being positive in a toxic positivity, you know. So it's a balance also.
Yeah, because if we only try to force positive emotions in us, we're not really it's like wearing a mask with ourselves, basically, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when we feel bad, it's okay to feel bad. But as you said, if this state lasts too long, then it's something that needs to be taken in a certain way. Yeah. But as long as we accept our feelings, we will also see that they actually turn out to be something good for us. Just like you accepted what you were feeling, and then by time, now I don't know exactly how long it took for you, you started to see your scar as what it really is.
Yes.
Something that saved you, from pain, saved you from other things that could happen if you did not take care of that.
Exactly.
So it was life at the end. This scar is a symbol of life.
Of life, of a new life, a new chance, you know, about many things. So so that let's see those changes, let's see those scars, let's see them in a different way, you know. And that's also the invitation I did a while ago to everyone. It's not only to us, but to everyone. Whenever we see something, then this represents something, you know, and it's part of us and it's our new self, let's say. And our new self doesn't need to be seen as something negative.
So now I have a question that might sound a bit strange, okay?
Yeah.
But how do our postpartum bodies affect our career?
Great. I like that. So let's make the connection here. So basically, remember in the previous episodes when we said about us facing a new level of the video game, let's say a new level of our lives where we face a new challenge that we are not ready for that. So we need either to improve skills or we need to develop other skills to master those new challenges, right? We spoke about that. And that's how we feel a little bit not so confident with ourselves. So here, something similar happens because now, remember, before you were this confident woman, let's put it in this scenario. You're a confident woman, you have your position, stable position at work, you feel confident, you master that whole thing, you look to yourself in the mirror and you feel like, yeah, I can do this, I'm confident enough, and you have all together. After the postpartum, you're already not feeling so good with yourself, and that comes with your self-image. when you look to yourself in the mirror and you don't feel comfortable in that body, that will affect your self-confidence. So when this affects your self-confidence, when you go back to your career, if you don't have that self-confidence the same way as you had before, then this will impact this career. So this is a proof of how everything is connected. We may not think that, okay, motherhood, postpartum body, and careers, they have nothing to do with each other. But actually, sometimes one point in your life might affect all the other factors in your life. So basically, if you see yourself, as I said, if you see yourself in the mirror, if you don't like that, and if you don't feel confident enough, that will shaken up a little bit who you are and how you feel ready or confident enough to do all the other areas of your life. And then sometimes you might put a clothes that you used to wear before in front of your team, and you feel very confident and comfortable wearing those clothes. Now these clothes may not fit you well anymore, and then you wear it, and then you go there, and then you feel a little bit insecure, thinking that maybe the people will see that and you don't look good, or even if you don't think about how you look, but something's uncomfortable there. And that will compromise how you speak in front of your team, how you behave in your profession, in your position, you know. So again, one thing can impact many other things, and that's actually one of the exercises I do in my coaching program. Is we identify which areas of your life are not in balance, and then which of those areas we choose one to improve, and that one will impact the others. So you don't need to do the whole change in everything, but sometimes one adjustment might impact all the other things.
And sometimes we're not even able to see which part of our life is the main reason of that is affecting basically the other areas of our life.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big challenge actually, but through specific tools and exercises we can get there. But yeah, it's not easy to just see by ourselves. Sometimes we need an extra help to get these answers.
And do you have one simple ritual to change this relationship with ourselves?
Yes. It's actually a very powerful ritual. Basically, what you have to do, it also involves mirrors. So the last time we were also talking about mirrors. But when we talk about self-image, I think mirror is something that is really connected to that. So what I want you guys to do is, when you are alone at one moment, just be in front of the mirror. There are two options here. One is the most effective, but it's more impactful, and the other it's an alternative. But one is you're gonna be in front of the mirror naked, fully naked. If you still have some, feel hesitant on doing that, be only in your underwear then. But I would highly recommend to be naked. Look to yourself, and believe me, most of us will automatically look as the first thing to the places that we don't like. The places that is disturbing us. So, okay, look there then. Initially, look there and try to see the purpose behind that part of your body. So if you're looking to your belly, then look what that belly represents to you, or what did it do in the case of motherhood. Let's say, okay, touch your belly, hold it, and feel like this place was the house of my kids. This enabled life to be developed. My kid was able, the heart of my kid was able to beat here. So touch it, think about those things. If you are not a mother, let's say, think about all the organs that are inside, all the functions that have been working there inside of your body. And because of that, you are able to live, In case of your breast, you're not happy with the breast, hold your breasts, really look at it and think the ones who breastfed their kids. So think these were the way I gave food to my kids. I produced food with my body to feed my kids, and just be compassionate with your body. And if you have a scar, do the same. Like in my case, hold your scar, say like, this was the way for the bad thing to go away, you know, for my dignity to come back. And at the end of this exercise, try to look to your body as a whole. Don't look only to those things, you know, because that one thing doesn't represent you, like, at all, you know. And people love you for so many reasons, and they don't care if you have a belly or if you have, I don't know, like a breast, a feeding breast or whatever, you know. They love you for your whole, for everything.
Yeah, and a lot of times they even love those aspects of you that you maybe dislike.
Yeah, exactly. And it happens so often, by the way. Like, we don't like, but actually people sometimes they like it, you know. And at the end of the exercise, look to this and say, look to your body and say, before I judge you, I appreciate you, I love you, and I thank you. So it's a beautiful exercise, powerful. It's not easy, but also don't do it only once, do it often. And trust me, if you keep the practice, you can have a big results out of that, and see your body in a very different way.
I have a question in this regard. Some women think that they reach this state with their body because they did not do well something. So, for example, they gained a lot of weight because they ate too much. They could prevent that, for example, they might think. Or they have these stretch marks. They could prevent it by applying more oil, for example.
Yeah.
No? How can I say, how can we make peace maybe with this, that you know, sometimes it's not simply something that we could have done better, because people gain weight for many reasons. Eating is not, I mean, people don't eat more just because they like eating more. Maybe they're going through certain periods and your body reacts in this way. So it's something much deeper than simply eating more and gaining weight. It's also in this case, it's telling something about you and something about your story.
Yeah.
And how can we go maybe through this to change, you know, the relationship?
Yeah. I think it also comes here something similar that I said, which is about compassion. And I think we always need to practice compassion towards ourselves. We often do that towards other people, but we don't do towards ourselves. And I think one good exercise also, it's also always think like, if I had a friend here in front of me telling me this issue or this situation, I won't even say issue, but telling me this situation, what would I say to encourage her or to comfort her? And those words you should be saying to yourself, you know, not only to others. So I think that an exercise to practice saying those encouragement words, those things to yourself, to us, not only to others, you know, this is one thing. The other thing is, don't blame yourself. As you already mentioned, like, there are a million reasons for a person to gain weight or get stretch marks. And I see so many cases of people who had stretch marks and they didn't even get pregnant, they didn't gain or lose weight, but they just have it. And sometimes it's just how it is, you know. And our bodies are imperfect also, so it's okay. I mean, nobody needs to have this Photoshop bodies that we see in the TV, you know. It's all right. So be in peace with that, be compassionate, and say also encouragement words to yourself, and just accept the imperfections of, I don't like the word imperfection, you know, but it's just like, so people understand, but just accept the changes in our bodies and in life. And one thing I want to make it clear also to people is, if something, for example, if you gained weight, you are not happy with that, you are free also to do something to lose weight. It's not that just accepting, no. You have the freedom. This is not, you don't feel comfortable with that, all right, you can. But if you choose to lose weight or do something to lose weight, do that from a position of self-love. And what I mean by that is like, I love myself so much, I love my body so much that I believe my body deserves to eat healthier food. I believe that my body deserves a healthier lifestyle. Do it in that way instead of I'm gonna lose weight and I'm gonna do that because I hate my body. So you see, it's
yeah,
doing
yeah.
something from a position of rejection and hate, and doing something that because you actually love your body and you believe that your body deserves something good. So it's also important to keep that in mind, and always ask yourself, like, why do I want to lose weight? Is it to fit into a standard that people are telling me, or is it because of something else, or it's just I don't feel comfortable? I think my life would be better or healthier if I lose weight or something. So all these questions and all these thoughts needs to be considered. And one more thing I wanted to add is about the postpartum bodies and this whole marketing strategies that we see out there. People try to sell us something like, you're gonna lose I don't know how many kgs in 1 month and go back to your previous body or whatever. But if we think that it took us 9 months to have this baby fully ready to be born, why do we have these very high expectations on getting back to a body in 3 months and I don't know how many weeks? And why do we even want to go back to that body? But anyways, go back also to the questions I said, like think why and what do we actually want, and if you want changes, do it from a place of self-love. But always see it as something we leveled up, and the changes we have right now, they are beautiful and they should be admired and respected. All right, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this conversation, and don't forget to like and subscribe in our channel, and please also check in the description the link for the VIP group that we have in WhatsApp, where we feed with more information and more techniques and more things about these whole topics that we are talking about, which is motherhood, career, productivity, and so on. So we expect you guys there, and we see you in the next episode.
See you.